Hello, Vixens. A big reason that I do what I do is because my mother was once a battered woman. And when I was about 1.5, I walked in on her getting her ass beat by my dad. It was a terrible scene, and I was immediately filled with rage, and I was going to run and grab a neighbor to get help. Except all of a sudden, my emotions were replaced with this coolness, which flowed through my head and down to my toes. And as I was staring at them stare at me, I knew that if I told on my dad, they would take him away. And this meant nothing to me other than I knew that my family would be broken up, and I didn't want that. So in that instance, I made the choice to sacrifice my mother for the good of my family. Now, my mom would leave him a couple years later, and to this day, she suffers from the psychological, emotional, and mental abuse and repercussions of her beatings. You guys, my father won the Golden Gloves and was a professional boxer for a while, so he banged her up pretty good. Now, while I understand that my father is a product of his Southern upbringing, had they stayed together, I know that I would have put a knife in him. Now, I've always regretted my decision not to protect my mother. I selfishly broke the girl code, and while it's too late to right my past wrong, I try to do it by helping women empower themselves and escape their prisons. Like my mother, many of you are lost. You're weak, scared, and you feel completely worthless. You might have wasted years on a job, a situation, or a person that doesn't value or respect you one bit. And I want to help you. So if you let me help you, let's work on you. So relax and let's take time out for you, because you are important and you are special and you are so much stronger than you can even imagine. We just need to find those lost aspects of yourself to make you whole again. And while I'm not expecting you to find your way out to wholeness immediately or even anytime soon, because owning your power is a process, Vixens, and some things come down to timing. Now, a Vixen is a female fox, and because she is small, she doesn't have the strength of her predator, so the Vixen must rely on her sharp mind, her cunning, and her charming personality to obtain her resources. Now, in obtaining your power, you will need to learn these skills to navigate and succeed in a man's world. So since 8 is my favorite number, here are your 8 tools to owning your power. Number 1, Vixens are willing to fight for what they want. And right now, that's you, Vixen. You are fighting for you, and you are willing to fight to transform your life with healthy choices based on strength, intention, and awareness. Because living with intention puts us in the driver's seat of our life. And in this position of power, we are now engaged in finding the most effective ways to live in our current existence while remaining empowered. Now, the first step is to simply acknowledge that you want this and having the courage to own that right to determine your reality. Number 2, Vixens tell people what they want. Vixens don't sit back and wait for love, happiness, or money to fall into their laps. We recognize that we are responsible for creating our own happiness. And this means speaking up for ourselves. We have to name it to claim it. And when you name what you want and you claim it, you recover control of your life. Now, I know many females struggle with telling people what they want because this step requires you to love yourself rather than continuing to abandon your needs and wants for others' approval. Now, in loving yourself, you will begin to move beyond your emotional dependency on others and instead attain emotional independence. Number 3, Vixens know when to speak their minds. Now, Vixens, it's very important to know your audience, because if you've spent a lot of time around unsafe people like I have, then at some point you most likely decided that it's better to stay silent than to address the issues that matter most to you. For instance, I live in a military community, and we choose to live on base because we are surrounded by like-minded individuals who understand our bellicose natures. Now, before my surgery, I was at the dry cleaners, and I was standing in line behind a soldier. Now, I thought nothing of it when he told the lady at the counter that if she, and I quote, fucked up his uniform, he would come back and kill her. Now, in that instance, it was very wise of her to smile and say that she understood. But frankly, I felt the same way because she had messed up things of mine too. Now, while your situation might not be as extreme, sometimes it's best to save your energy and your breath and your dignity and your emotional energy. Vixens, it's your job to get clear about what's troubling you and why this is important for you to speak up. So I want you to plan how you might express this effectively and then choose your timing well. And finally, speak in terms that make it seem like it's the other person's idea and they will be more receptive to you. Number 4, Vixens walk away from bad situations. To begin to heal the underlying control trauma stemming from our self-abandonment, we have to recognize the unhealthy patterns that contribute to our self-destruction. And many times we make careless choices without even recognizing we're making them. Start to become conscious of the habits and patterns that have carved your existence and recognize the paths that have set your course. As soon as we recognize these patterns, the universe will serve us with an opportunity to shift into a higher consciousness with more choices. Number 5, Vixens know what they deserve. In order to walk away from bad situations, you have to feel you deserve something better. So Vixens, I want you to change the word deserve to earned. When you have earned something, nobody has to tell you that you deserve it because you were there when you earned it, right? However, when you choose not to be deserving, you are limiting yourself, which creates a crippling self-doubt that always accompanies an undeserving mindset. So I want you to recognize that it is your responsibility as a human being to always strive for better because your sense of deserving increases the more you acquire it. A majority of deserving is simply putting ideas into action of something you want to achieve. Always strive for better, work for it, and when you achieve it, recognize that you earned it and therefore are deserving of it. Number 6, Vixens are independent. When we start earning our sense of deserving, we automatically become independent. Independence is asserting yourself in life and claiming your stake in it. Being assertive doesn't mean being hostile or having an attitude. It's recognizing that everyone is fighting their own battles and everyone has different stories that shape them. Therefore, claiming your own rights in this world totally differs per individual. Every day, Vixens, we have small choices that we make that either benefit us by asserting our ideas or instead diminishing us. So it's important to be aware of your weaknesses and then master them. Because once you've established what your weaknesses are and which skills are necessary for you to turn these weaknesses into your strengths, your strengths will become a habit that fortifies you. Now, when you perform this action, you will feel energized and you will feel in your element and nothing can pull you out of your zone. By understanding your strengths and finding new ways to practice them, you develop and sharpen your strengths, and over time, you begin to build new skills and a knowledge set around them. So strength is a vital ingredient for being an independent person. Number 7, Vixens are self-confident. As you grow more independent, you develop the self-esteem you need to keep believing in yourself, and you become more willing to try new things. Now, rather than wasting time and energy worrying that you aren't good enough, I invite you instead to devote your energy towards focusing on daily victories. This allows you to reinforce your productive actions and thoughts, thereby creating a bank of daily wins, of which you can draw on when you lose your way. When you feel confident in yourself, you're more likely to dedicate your resources of energy, time, and money into worthwhile pursuits, thereby staying content and happy with who you are. This self-confidence encourages us to believe that if we learn and work hard in a particular area, we'll succeed. It is this type of confidence that leads people to accept difficult challenges and to keep going in the face of setbacks. Number 8, Vixens know who they are, and they're not afraid to be themselves. Self-confidence is trusting in your own judgment and abilities. It's valuing yourself and still feeling worthy, regardless of any imperfections you might have. You are in complete ownership of your beliefs, your feelings, and emotions, your thoughts, ideas, and actions, and these all only belong to you and only you. So no one else can tell you what you feel inside or invalidate your opinions. Now, through self-efficacy, the successful mastering of our strengths and skills, we achieve our goals. We therefore feel positive about ourselves. This leads to taking courageous actions built from our self-respect. And when you can live without fear, Vixens, you are truly free. Now, imparting. Because we fulfill so many roles on a daily basis, it's easy for us to lose ourselves, especially in relationships where we give more than we receive. I mean, how many times, Vixens, have you put the needs of others before your own? Now, many of us have lost or misplaced our authentic voice due to life's trauma and other circumstances. But I suspect if you have found this video, that now is the time to reclaim it. A large part of owning your power is being willing to see the truth about ourselves and our life. Know your truth. And as always, Vixens, remember, go out and be the badasses and the bad bitches that you are.